All right, guys, here's another BG perspective. As always, leave a comment down below, like and subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you can get notified every time we upload.
For graphics, and in which scenarios would you use each format for print versus digital media?
Yeah, when it comes to raster and vector graphics, the difference is that raster graphics are composed of pixels, and they each have their own color value. They also lose quality when they're scaled up, and they're usually like JPEG or PNG. And when it comes to vector graphics, they're made up of paths defined by mathematics. So they allow for seamless scaling.
Everyone's been telling me that the job market is insane, and I've started applying so that I can start 2025 off rich. I'm kidding, I'm literally broke now. Here's my strategy. So if you know something better than I'm not doing, please let me know, girl. I'm using a spreadsheet to track all of my applications. I can see what my ratio is from like application to interview, interview to offer, application to rejection. And I've applied for more since this time, but I don't know if it's because I'm nosy, but I'm so interested in the rejected and ghosted ratio. I usually apply for like 10 to 20 jobs per day because I've been doing it in hour intervals. And I alternate between one day I'll do a blanket application, like I'll just apply to anything that's open with the same resume, and then the next day I'll do more of like an individualized resume application. The third thing is that I've had better success rate for openings that are very new, so I'll apply if it was posted like 2 hours ago or like this morning. Everyone cross your fingers and toes that I get hired.
Okay, so I've seen a lot of people talk about how hard it is to get a job right now, and I recently left my job and got the first job that I applied to that I knew I really wanted, and I'm not discrediting that it's not hard, but I want to give you guys a few tips on what I did. First things first, there are going to be so many people that are applying to these jobs, and if you want one, you have to be willing to be fucking crazy. As soon as I found the role that I knew I wanted, I took the description of that role and I went and pasted it into ChatGTP, and I had it write me a brief paragraph saying why I was interested in the role, why I was a good fit for the role, and then asking if they could point me to the right hiring manager or the person that's responsible for this job listing. Then I went to the company's LinkedIn and I went to the people tab to see everybody that worked there, and I went and searched for people that had a director or a manager position within HR, and then I looked for people that had a similar role to what I was looking for that was more at a senior level that I thought maybe would have some pull or at least know about this listing and they could potentially help. I went and copied that template from ChatGPT and I went and connected with these people, or I used InMail on LinkedIn and I sent all of them the same message. These people that I messaged didn't know me, but 5 out of the 10 people that I sent a message to said that they forwarded my resume over to the hiring manager. I got a call from HR the next. And of course, when you get to this point, you have to be good at interviewing. And I knew that I was good for the first 2, but when I got to the third one, it was with the VP and the director. So I wanted to make sure that I was ready. So I went back into LinkedIn and I copied and pasted the entire job description. I put it into ChatGPT as well as copied and pasted my resume. And then I said, this is who I'm interviewing with. This is their roles. Can you please ask me questions that you think they would ask during this interview? Let me respond and then rate my answer from a 1 to 10 and then give me another response on what you would have changed and improved. And honestly, ChatGPT asked me really hard questions and gave me responses that I probably wouldn't have thought of myself. I practiced that shit for 4 days until every single question it asked, I had a good response. So by the time I went to that interview, there was not one question that I was not prepared for. And by the time I walked out of that interview, there was not one doubt in my mind that I got the job. And then I got a call later that day. So be a little crazy, practice, know your shit, be personable, and you have a very high chance. Hope this helped.
This comment right here, I feel that I searched for 5 months before I finally landed a job at my dream company, and I'm going to show you how to as well. I have a video that goes like 30 minutes into real detail, gives you every single step-by-step key point, and that's available in my beacons. Look in the description, but let me just show you like real quick on what it is. And if you need more one-on-one help, mock interview help, you can also book a time with me in my link below. But let's go ahead and show you how I did this. So first things first is you need a ATS friendly resume. ATS is that application tracking system. I go into more detail in the video about that, but that's what recruiters use to help kind of like filter through candidates. And so the one I use is called Enhance CV. And again, you can try it for free. I was in a free trial and then I canceled it. You can also use My Perfect Resume. I like them because they actually give you like prompts. If you type in what your role was, they give you like, different easy things to add, like to make it bullets and points on your resume. So once you're done entering all of your information, your resume will look something like this. It probably won't have the key skills yet or the professional summary. I'll show you how to get that, but it will have your name, obviously, and your experience. And so some people say, only do 2 pages. Some people say 1 page is fine. Again, I have 3 different people who work in HR, one at the Department of Justice, another one is a VP of Human Resources, and another one is a branch manager and recruiter. And so what was a recruiter, now a branch manager, that's in my family. So they gave me all the tips that I gave to you guys in that video. But the main thing is to make sure that you can read from left to right, and that, you don't have any columns. So how like this resume example has like this little column here, you want to make sure to not have anything like that. Even though it looks great, it's not helping you in regards to the ATS system looking at your resume. And before you recruiters come from me, oh, I look at my resume, it doesn't go through an ATS system. You are not every recruiter. Every recruiter is different. And I got 3 different tips from the recruiters or the people in the HR department from my family, and they literally all, I realize, have like different ways of doing their own thing, and that's okay. So I just gave tips for all of that in that video. And if you look at yours and not using the ATS system, that's great, but for majority of America who's now converting all the way to AI, this is how you do it. All right, now comes the fun part. After you download your resume, go ahead and go to ChatGPT. And it's going to look like this. You want to make sure that you are in the 4.0 version. Click on Explore GPTs, and then you're going to type in resume. And then you're going to look for the one that is red and has a little person there, CV and resume ATS optimized, and click on Start Chat. I think ChatGPT 4.0 is actually free right now to everybody, so definitely hop on that. You can click on Match My Resume to the job description. And so you're going to click on it. And then it's going to say, hey, go ahead and put in your resume and put in the job description. So I added my resume, and now I'm going to find the job. The biggest tip I can give you is when you are looking for a job, make sure that you're doing past 24 hours. I don't care if it was 2 days ago. You want to make sure, because look, this is 11 minutes and already 14 applicants. So, the earlier, the better. So let's say I want to be a customer support executive. It's a remote position. $10 an hour is crazy. Anyway, but you just want to go ahead and copy the description. This is actually a pretty bad one. So let's do the account executive. There we go. They have a lot more detail. So when it ends on the required qualifications, I'm going to copy this. And I am copying some stuff about the company because it creates me a cover letter for this position as well. I'm going to go ahead and paste in the application. And boom. I'm sorry, my words are kind of going crazy because I just created that video for you guys, and I've been dealing with a toddler all day, so I am depleted on energy. I know, I was talking about you. You mad? You coming for me? And so as you see, it's actually revising and updating my resume. If you didn't have a professional summary, it just gave you one. So as you see, this is completely different from the the professional summary that I had right here. Again, this wasn't my resume. I just copied and pasted a resume. But look, you can paste this right here. Dynamic account executive with over 3 years of experience. What it's doing is it's filtering in those qualifications that they're asking for. So here they must have asked for 3 years of experience. Yep, minimum of 3 to 5 years. And so it's going to filter in everything to make you the perfect candidate. And if you like how they said something better, you just copy that bulletin point and you paste it right here. You take it out and replace it. Once you finish copy pasting and going back and forth, that is when you are going to download that resume and apply for that job. And as a bonus, using ChatGPT, as you see, it also gave me a cover letter, and you can say, hey, make it sound more professional, make it sound less professional, make it shorter. And now you have an automatic cover letter as well to add to that. So that is just, a real quick version of what I did. If you want it broken down step by step, or if you want to go into more detail, or if you want me to customize your own resume, please book a link with me, book time with me in my link. I'm tired, I'm done, I gotta go to sleep, but I hope you guys get that work from home job.
If you are unemployed, I just heard the best job search tip that I've probably ever heard in all 3 of my layoffs in all the years that I've been dealing with this. Okay, so we were just on my Slack community call, and there was a former HR professional recruiter on there. She's currently laid off looking for work. And someone else on the call ask the question of, how do you know, how to structure your day? Like, we have all this time, it's hard to prioritize, it's hard to figure out when you are doing meaningful work, when you're spinning your wheels, and then also how to prioritize yourself and your mental health, etc. So we go through like our conversation, and people are sharing what they do and how they approach the job search and how they make sure that when they're actually focused on it, the work that they're doing is meaningful, etc. So this woman, who is a former HR professional / recruiter, she said that when she was working, okay, Monday morning she'd post the job, and she would just let applications come in all day, pretty much through Tuesday morning, and she'd see how many people applied. Tuesday was the day that she would go through all the applications. And she's like, that was the day. And she told us she didn't use ATS. There were certain questions that like would knock out a candidate. So if there was like a specific thing they were looking for and you didn't have it, you were turned away. Like if it was, something with a specific role, education, whatever credential qualification. So those people get knocked out. But she would personally go through all the resumes. So that was Tuesday. She said Wednesday and Thursday, she's making phone calls to the qualified candidates to set up interviews for the following week. And then Friday, if she didn't feel like she got qualified candidates or if not enough people applied, she would repost the job. So she said the way she approaches her search now on the other side is Monday, she like power applies to jobs. Like she's applying to every job, she's applying to things through Tuesday morning. Knowing and understanding that on the other side of the table, Tuesday is the day people are probably reviewing the applications. And then she said on Wednesday and Thursday, she doesn't apply for jobs because she's like, that's the day that they're making the calls for the following week. So they're not looking at anything. They're just looking at the people that have already applied. So sure, you can apply on those days, but it might not go anywhere. You might as well wait till next Monday or Friday when they repost the job. If they repost the job, it's because they haven't gotten any qualified candidates, and they're hoping that if they repost the job on Friday, they'll get the people on Saturday and Sunday that maybe already are employed and like are looking, but they don't have the time to do it during the week. This was genius. So she essentially said Monday, she power applies through Tuesday morning. Tuesday, she kind of slows down. Wednesday, Thursday, she gets to take a break from that and does other things. That's when, she gets some other stuff done. Maybe she works on things. Maybe she has a side hustle, whatever. And then Friday is when she reviews any reposts. She also shared that she knows that Indeed pushes jobs to the top that are reposted on Mondays. I have not heard such tangible advice in the 3 layoffs, in the 3 years that I've been going through this, where it's like, yeah, this is how you should structure your day based on my experience on the other side of the table. So if you're a hiring manager, recruiter, person in charge, I'm going to ask you, is this how you structure your week? Because if this is how you're all doing it, we just cracked some code of like scheduling and managing our own calendar. And I think when you can manage your own calendar and your time and you feel like you're doing real work and you're productive, your mental health just goes up. And then us unemployed little angels are going to feel so much better about the way that we're living our life right now. So help me, but this is genius, right?
Now, what do you guys think? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. We love seeing your feedback and reading about your own experiences too. It really helps others and allows us all to learn more. So, if you're into diving deeper into topics that matter and sparking your curiosity and keeping it real every step of the way, hit that subscribe button because you're in the right place. Now, let's get back to the perspectives.
I was laid off 6 weeks ago, and I currently have an application to interview rate that is at 44%. And I'm going to show you what my resume used to look like, why I don't like it, and then I'm going to show you what my resume looks like now and what works for me. This is my old resume, and one of the reasons why it doesn't work for today's market is because ATS systems don't read tables very well, and I put a lot of keywords in this up-down table. It's also only 1 page, and I had a career coach recommend that I expand it to 2 pages, so that's what I did for my new one. This is my new resume. It is not a template. I built this in Google Docs, and it is now 2 pages. This is the first page and the second page. One thing I'll call out is generally people don't really care about your name, but they care about what you do. So I put my name in the top corner, but in big centered letters, I shared what my job title is and what I kick ass at. I also have this section of qualifications here. This is now in left to right text format. That's easier for ATS systems. And also it's easier for human eyes to read left to right whenever it gets to an actual person. Now, for every job that I apply for, I spend maybe 15 minutes customizing my resume to fit the job description in the following ways. Job descriptions usually have keywords that they're looking for, and I put them right at the top under qualifications and marketing technology experience because that's related to what I do. And I put the most important things that they're looking for in the top rows. And I do that for a couple reasons. One being it's easier for ATS systems to read text columns left to right than up and down in columns. And it's also easier for human eyes to read it too. So by the time it actually gets from the applicant tracking system to an actual person, that person can quickly read that first line, maybe second line of text, and discern that you check their boxes, and then they will move on to the next section. What you're now looking at is a job description, and it lists what you'll be doing and what they want you to have. These bullet points are usually listed in highest priority of what they want in a candidate and lowest priority of what they want in a candidate. When you are writing or rearranging your resume, make sure that the bullet points that are relevant to the job are listed in the same order that they listed it on the job description. Because again, it's listed in highest priority to lowest priority. So then by the time an actual person gets to it, they can quickly look at your top 2, 3, 4 bullet points of each of your job roles and then decide they check my boxes and they will move forward. Again, I don't work in recruiting. This is just what I think is happening. I don't know if you can clearly see this, but I make sure that all of the bullet points are really succinct, really concise, and I highlight the words that I know that they care about. And again, it's just so that when an actual person looks at it, they can quickly see that, again, she checks this box and that box, and she checks this box. Again, I don't work in recruitment. If you are a recruiter or hiring manager and you're looking at this, can you comment and just tell me if I'm crazy? I think this is what is happening, and I think that's why my application to conversion or my application to interview conversion rate is really strong. I also think part of it is because I'm usually applying for jobs within 24 hours of them being listed. But anyway, this is just what works for me. I don't use a template. This is built in Google Docs.
A little birdie told me you're looking for a new job by the end of the year. Here are the 4 steps you're going to take to get one. First things first, you need to write a resume that doesn't suck. This means picking a resume template that is simple, easy to read, and actually focuses on your work experience instead of the design. Writing impact-oriented bullet points that actually show what you accomplished. When you compare the resume to the job descriptions, does it without a doubt show that you are qualified? Because if not, we went wrong somewhere. In this job market, I need you to take a long, hard look at those requirements in the job and make sure you're meeting them. I'm all for shooting your shot, but just know that in this job market, you might be waiting a while. Number 3 is just 3 simple words: expand your reach. Nobody can feasibly know how awesome you are if you don't talk to anybody. This means networking, finding new connections, keeping up with old connections. Create a personal brand, and don't be afraid to show it off. And lastly, use free resources where you can get them. Because why are you already doing the work when I did most of it for you? If you're on Instagram, you can comment any of these lovely things and I'll send it right to you. And if you're not on Instagram, then what the hell are you doing, Loca? And be sure to follow along for those free resources, or else. A little birdie told me you're looking for a new job by the end of the year. Here are the 4 steps you're going to take to get one. First things first, you need to write a resume that doesn't suck. This means picking a resume template that is simple, easy to read, and actually focuses on your work experience instead of
This person was able to secure a senior level data analyst interview for a top insurance company with no industry experience and after having 0 interviews. Let's talk about why this works. Before we do, my name is Erica. I love helping people get jobs. That is what I do. I give no BS advice. Let's go ahead and jump right into it. Starting from the top, we have a 1-page resume. This person's experience is unique. They have a combination of work, industry experience, 10 plus years, but it is not directly tied to a data analyst position. They've worked in security. What is important here is that we are focusing on what is most relevant. They want to know, how are you relevant for a data analyst position? We called it out. We have data analyst at the top here. We want people to know I am applying for a data analyst position. Here is my brand. This is who I am and this is what I do. So we have a professional branding statement, a brief about me section. You have the call outs here. This person went to school full-time while working full-time. That shows that this person is able to multitask and have impeccable time management. Those are attributes that are transferable across any industry. So we called out that this person has experience because we want them to know, yes, I do have hands-on experience. And here are the tools that I've used. They've used Tableau, Python, SQL. These are all skills that are going to be relevant for this type of role. And so we want to call that out very clearly, because then we go into their education. Why we chose to put the education above the experience is because they just graduated from college and they've also recently obtained certifications that are related to the field that they're trying to go into. So we want to bring those to the top. Now going into the experience, what I chose to emphasize here is their experience related to data. How have they been able to use data? They had an internship, which is more clear cut. They were able to use data throughout this role. Now, where we had to get creative, they have been a public safety officer and they worked as a supervisor for a security company. So you might be thinking, how do we utilize data there? Data entry. This person had to keep track of logs, keep track of data of vehicles coming in and out of the facility. This person had to pull video analytics and be able to track the data. This person had to keep track of theft. Let's talk about the data around that. There are ways that we can specifically tailor the experience to speak to how they've been able to utilize data. With all of this information, pulling it all together gives the reader a clear idea of who they are, what their target is, and why they're relevant for this type of role.
I'm here to show you the one document that actually made a difference in my job search. And no, it's not a resume or a cover letter. It's a career accomplishments presentation. And I'm going to show you exactly how I created mine and how you can create yours on your own. Slide number 1, I just put my name for whatever company I was applying to, and then I kept the logo in the corner there. Here's just a nice quote to add a little touch. This is really the meat and potatoes of the presentation. It's where I have my headshot. It's where I have the job title. The skills you see listed here are the main requirements for the position. And then here's just a little bit about me, just some general information about me as an employee, and kind of overall what I can bring to the table. Here's my favorite slide. These are all of my big accomplishments throughout my career. Note that I have a lot of metrics on this slide. Here I made sure to include the companies that I made the most impact and then the dates so they can compare it to my resume. This slide is the one that's going to take the most time because you're going to have to edit it for every position. I included a photo of the company headquarters on there, and then I described how I align with the company and their core values. And that's pretty much it. It's short and sweet and cute. It's only 5 slides total. I hope that helps. If you have any questions, let me know and I'll do my best to answer them.
You're going to want to find the job description of the interview that you have, and you are going to want to copy it. And then from there, once you copy the description, you want to open up ChatGTP. And then there is a system called Master Interview. You could also just use the regular ChatGPT and say, ask me, some interview questions. And then they say, let's practice. From there, you're going to put your resume in. So once you send them your resume, they want the job description. So you go ahead and paste the job description. From there, it will say, how many questions do you want to do? You say however many you want to do. So it will ask you a question like, tell me a time when you had to support a team to achieve a goal. And you would just say, give me the answer. And it will literally give you the answer, and it might be in a way that you, didn't really think of. This may trigger a scenario that has actually happened in your job that you can use, and it also gives you more words to kind of put in to that. So instead of saying, yeah, I helped this woman with this technical issue, it will give you more of the meat and potatoes of what to say. Or if you don't want to do the give me the answer thing, you can actually type in your answer and it will give you a score and what you could work on and just kind of revise it. So this is a great tool to kind of do a mock interview if you don't really have anyone, or if you don't know what questions you should be preparing for that interview. So when you are done studying your questions on ChatGPT, you can put them in a document that looks just like this. I call this my job toolbox. And these are scenarios that have happened. They ask you, are you good at time management? Your answer shouldn't be yeah. No, you need to give an example of, the time that you had to multitask and how you had to break down the priorities to keep organized. So you want to give them like a story and a scenario to pull from. Geez, my hair looks crazy. And what I do is, if it's a interview that I'm really nervous on, pretty much all my interviews, I literally split the screen in half. And I will have the Microsoft Teams, because it's typically been in the Teams, like a small little corner, and all of my notes and scenario toolboxes on the other side. And then I use a wireless mouse, and during the interview, I'm kind of like scrolling down. And if I need like a refresher on this certain situation, it can like help me, you know, and I can use it as a reference guide or read from it right off the bat, which I always do for my intro, because my intro's like but you obviously don't want to sound like you're reading. Instead of like your webcam being right here, if they're only this half of the screen and this is all of my notes, I put the webcam like right here. So then if I'm looking down, if I'm reading my notes, they think I'm still looking at them. And because I wear glasses, they really can't tell. So anyway, that's just some tips. I hope that it helps you. I know this video was long, but I hope it helps somebody. The more you interview, the better. I would really, if you're really nervous with interviewing, I would really suggest just applying to jobs that you may not even plan on keeping or actually wanting if you like get an offer, just for the interview practice. Because I still went into the interview pretty nervous, and so I use this app called Headspace, not sponsored obviously, and they have I typed in interview, and they have like a meditation to prepare for the interview and a guy that kind of talks you down, and I needed that because my heart was beating so bad. So, that's about it. That's all I have. Good luck. You got this.
So that's it for today's video. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section.